and welcome back to our series on IUPAC naming of organic compounds. In the previous video, I covered the basics of naming alkenes and alkynes containing double bonds or triple bonds in a molecule, but not both. In this video, we will explore the continuation of naming when we encounter compounds that contain both double bonds and triple bonds. In naming organic compounds that contain both double and triple bonds without functional groups, we need to keep the following points in mind. Points to remember: if a molecule contains both carbon-carbon double and triple bonds, the two are treated at par in seeking the lowest number combinations. That means if a molecule contains both double and triple bonds, then both are given the same priority, and the carbon chain is numbered either by using the lowest set of locants rule or by lowest sum rule. However, if the sets of locants are same starting from either end of the carbon chain, then the lowest number is given to carbon-carbon double bond. That means if a molecule contains both double and triple bonds without functional groups, and while numbering the carbon chain, if the two sets of locants are same starting from either end of the carbon chain, at that time double bonds are given priority over the triple bonds. That means lowest numbers possible are given to the double bonds than triple bonds. And the compounds containing both double and triple bonds are called as alkenes. Such compounds are named as alkenes, a derivative of alkynes rather than alkenes, with numbering as low as possible given to the multiple bonds. And the next point to remember is, in the parent chain containing both double and triple bonds, the terminal E in the name is dropped when it is followed by the suffix beginning with A, I, O, U or Y. The terminal E of ENE in ENYNE and ADINYNE is dropped because it comes before Y of ine. However, E is not dropped in case of anidine because it comes before D of diine. When E is dropped and when E is not dropped, in order to know that clearly, here are some examples. You can see. Examples, you can see when E is dropped and when E is not dropped. In order to know it clearly, you can see here, if a molecule contains only one double bond and one triple bond, the IUPAC name is RW, means root word, locant, ENE, locant, YNE. Okay, so before this root word may be some substituents, and here locant is nothing but the number that locates the position of either double or triple bonds, and this locant belongs to ENE and this locant belongs to YNE, ine. Okay, and here you can see this E is followed by the suffix Y. For that reason, E is to be dropped while writing the IUPAC name. So, root word, locant, EN, locant, YNE. because here I have dropped E. Why? Because it is followed by the suffix Y. Okay. Next, when a molecule contains two double bonds and one triple bond, see here, root word plus A, locant, diene, locant, ine. And when two double bonds or two triple bonds, that is when more than one double or triple bonds are there, at that time we have to add A to the root word, like octa, hexa, like this. So locant, diene. Here you can see, here also this terminal E is followed by the suffix beginning with Y. For that reason, E should be dropped. So this is the IUPAC name of an organic compound containing two double bonds and one triple bond. One double bond plus two triple bonds. For example, an organic compound is contained one double bond and two triple bonds. The IUPAC name is root word plus A, locant ene, locant diene. And here E of ene should not be dropped. Why? Because it is followed by the suffix beginning with D. Isn't it? E should be dropped only when it is followed by the suffix beginning with A, I, O, U or Y. However, here E is followed by the suffix D. For that reason, here E should not be dropped. We have to write this IUPAC name as it is. Okay? Now let us go for some examples. Write the IUPAC names of the following compounds. Here is the problem number 1. This is an organic compound containing two double bonds. And we have to provide IUPAC name for it. First, we have to number the carbon chain, and the numbering can be done in either ways. I am numbering from left to right and from right to left also. Which way of numbering is correct? To know that I am using the lowest set of locants rule. Set 1 left to right locants are 1, 3. That means first carbon atom and the third carbon atom are bearing double bonds. Similarly, set 2 locants right to left 1, 3. So here the two sets of locants are same. At that time we have to give the lowest numbers possible to the substituents. For that reason, the numbering from left to right is the correct one and this one is the wrong one. And the root word is but, primary suffix en because it contains double bonds. Secondary suffix is e, and one substituent is there, that is chlorine. So here two double bonds are there. For that reason we have to add a to root word. Alk plus a diene, alka diene, alka, that means buta. So 2 chloro buta 1, 3 diene. 2 chloro buta 1, 3 diene. Next, problem number 2. Solution. Take down this problem. So in this molecule one double bond is there and one triple bond is there. First, let us number the carbon chain from left to right and from right to left also. In both ways, the carbon chain is numbered. And which way of numbering is correct? To know that, use the lowest set of locants rule. Set 1 locants are 2, 4. Set 2 locants are 1, 3. So we have to compare these two sets of locants term by term. So at the first point of difference, 1 is less than 2. Then you no need to compare the remaining terms. So numbering from right to left is the correct one, whereas from left to right is the wrong numbering. So this one is the wrong one, this is the right one. Okay. Now it contains 5 carbon atoms in the chain. So it is, the root word is pent. Primary suffix, here both double and triple bonds are there. For that reason, En, Yn, secondary suffix is E. Why? Because this compound contains only carbon and hydrogen atoms. There aren't any other functional groups. At that time, the secondary suffix is only E. And there aren't any secondary prefixes. Primary prefix won't come here, and this primary prefix will come only for cyclic compounds. And there aren't any secondary prefixes. Here the IUPAC name is, you see here, third carbon atom is attached double bond. First carbon atom is attached triple bond. Here I have dropped E from ENE. Why? Because this E is followed by Y. I already told you. Okay. So pent 3 in 1 ion. Next, problem number 3. This is a molecule. We have to provide IUPAC name for it. Let us number the carbon chain from left to right and from right to left also. Which way of numbering is correct? In order to know that, I am using the lowest set of locants rule. Set 1 locants left to right, 2, 4. Set 2 locants right to left, that is first carbon atom and the third carbon atom are containing multiple bonds. So let us compare these two sets term by term. 1 is less than 2 at the first point of difference. So this one is the correct numbering and this is the wrong numbering. Okay. And root word is pent, primary suffix en, and yn, secondary suffix is e. And the IUPAC name of this molecule is, see here, pent 1 in 3 ion. Pent 1 in 3 ion. Okay. Next, problem number 4. This is a molecule containing 1 triple bond and 2 double bonds. We have to provide IUPAC name for this. Solution: take down the molecule as it is. First, we have to number the carbon chain. This is the longest chain of carbon atoms, and I am numbering the carbon chain in both ways, that is from left to right and from right to left also. Next, from right to left, which way of numbering is correct to know that I am using the lowest set of locants rule. Set 1 locants are, that is from left to right, set 1 locants are 1, 3, 5. From right to left, set 2 locants are 2, 4, 6. Okay, so we have to compare these two sets of locants term by term. At the first point of difference, let us compare these two terms. First terms, at the first point of difference, 1 is less than 2. Then you no need to compare the remaining terms. That means numbering from left to right is the correct way of numbering, and the numbering from right to left is the wrong way of numbering. Okay, then the root word is 7 carbon atoms are there in the chain, so it is hept. Primary suffix, both double and triple bonds are there, it is en and yn. Secondary suffix is e, and there are two substituents, isn't it? So third carbon atom and the fifth carbon atom have been attached to substituents, ethyl and methyl. So the secondary prefixes are ethyl and methyl. While writing the IUPAC name, the substituents are to be written according to alphabetical order. Okay, and here two double bonds are there. If more than one multiple bond is there, at that time we have to add a to the root word. So here hepta. So here I am writing the IUPAC name 3-ethyl, because ethyl comes first, methyl comes later. So 3-ethyl, 5-methyl hepta, 3, 5 diene 1-ine. 3-ethyl, 5-methyl hepta, 3,5 diene 1-ine. In this diene, E is dropped because this E is followed by the suffix Y. Okay. Next, problem number 5. Solution. See here, this molecule contains one triple bond, two double bonds. First, number the carbon chain. So I am numbering the carbon chain in both ways, from left to right and from right to left also. And I will decide which way of numbering is correct by using the lowest set of locants rule. See here, set 1 locants from left to right, 1, 3, 5. Set 2 locants from right to left, 1, 3, 5. So here the two sets of locants starting from either end of the carbon chain are same. At that time, double bonds are given priority. That means lowest numbers possible are given to the double bonds. So here triple bond from left to right and double bond from right to left, both are competing for the same position. At that time, double bond is given priority than the triple bond. Okay, so this one is the wrong way of numbering and this one is the correct way of numbering, and the root word is hex. primary suffix, because this molecule contains both double and triple bonds. For that reason, primary suffix en and yn, secondary suffix e. And here there are two secondary prefixes, otherwise substituents. This is methoxy. This group is attached to the third carbon, and chlorine is attached to the second carbon. So two secondary prefixes are there, chlorine and methoxy, and we have to write these substituents according to alphabetical order. So the IUPAC name of this compound is 2-chloro 3-methoxy hexa. A should be added to this root word. Why? Because two double bonds are there. So hexa 1,3 diene 5-ine. 2-chloro 3-methoxy hexa 1,3 diene 5-ine. Here you observe one thing. I have dropped E from ENE because this E is followed by the suffix beginning with Y. For that reason, I have dropped E from ENE here. Okay. So this is the IUPAC name of this compound. Next, problem number 6. Solution. This molecule contains one triple bond and one double bond. First, number the carbon chain in both ways. Later, we decide which way of the numbering is correct. And use the lowest set of locants rule to determine which way of numbering is correct. From left to right, set 1 locants are 2, 5. I am using the lowest set of locants rule. Set 1 locants are 2, 5. Set 2 locants from right to left 2, 5. Second and fifth carbon atoms are bearing double bonds. Okay. So here you can observe the two sets of locants are same. At that time, double bonds are given priority over triple bonds. Here you can see from left to right, triple bond, and from right to left, double bond. Both are seeking second position. That means both are competing for the same position. At that time, double bonds are given priority over the triple bonds. This way of numbering is correct, and this one is the correct numbering. Okay. Root word. This carbon chain contains 7 carbon atoms. So it is hept, primary suffix en, yn, secondary suffix e, and there are two substituents attached to the fourth carbon atom, chlorine and bromine. Okay. So while writing the substituents, we have to follow the alphabetical order. So bromine comes first, chlorine comes next. So 4 bromo, 4 chloro, hept, 2 in, 5 ine. Here also I have dropped E from ENE. Why? Because it is followed by the suffix Y, beginning with Y. Okay. Next, problem number 7. See here. Number the carbon chain from left to right and from right to left. So write the two sets of locants. Set 1 locants are 1, 3. See here. The first carbon atom and the third carbon atom are bearing the multiple bonds. From right to left, 1, 3. So the two sets of locants are same. Okay. And at that time you have to give the priority to the double bond. See here. From left to right, double bond. From right to left, triple bond. Both are competing for the same position. At that time, double bonds are given priority over the triple bonds. Okay. So this one is the correct way of numbering and this one is the wrong way of numbering. And root word, it contains 4 carbon atoms, hence it is but, en, secondary suffix e, and one substituent is attached to the second carbon atom. It is methyl group. Okay, so 2 methyl but 1 in 3 ine. 2 methyl but 1 in 3 ine. Here I have dropped E. Why? Because it is following the suffix beginning with Y. Okay. Next, problem number 8. Here is the solution. First, number the carbon chain in both ways, from left to right and from right to left also. Later we decide which way of the numbering is correct by using the lowest set of locants rule. So set 1 locants from left to right. The set 1 locants are 1, 3, 6. Set to 2 locants from right to left locants are 2, 5, 7. 2, 5, 7. Now we have to compare these two sets of locants term by term, and let us compare the first terms. At the first point of difference, 1 is less than 2. Then you no need to compare the remaining terms. Then you go for this one. So set 1 locants are correct. That means the numbering from left to right is the correct way of numbering, and the numbering from right to left is the wrong way of numbering. Then root word, this carbon chain is contained 8 carbon atoms, though it is oct, and here this molecule contains both double and triple bonds. For that reason, primary suffix en and yn, secondary suffix e. Next, there are 3 substituents, otherwise secondary prefixes. Bromine is attached to the second carbon. Ethyl and methyl groups are attached to the fifth carbon. So these are the secondary prefixes, and we have to write these prefixes or otherwise substituents according to their alphabetical order. Okay. So 2 bromo, 5 ethyl, 5 methyl octa. A should be added to the root word. Why? Because 2 triple bonds are there. Octa, 1 in 3, 6 diene. 2 bromo, 5 ethyl, 5 methyl octa, 1 in 3, 6 diene. You observe one thing here. I haven't dropped E from ENE. Why? Because it is followed by the suffix beginning with D, isn't it? So E from ENE is to be dropped when it is followed by the suffix beginning with A, I, O, U, R, Y. However, here it is followed by D. For that reason, E has been retained as it is. Okay, it hasn't been dropped. So this is the IUPAC name of this organic compound. Next, problem number 9. Solution. Number the carbon chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from right to left. Okay, there are 2 double bonds and 1 triple bond in this molecule. Okay, so use the lowest set of locants rule to decide which way of the numbering is correct. Set 1 locants are 1, 3, 5. Left to right locants. And set 2 right to left locants are 1, 3, 5. You see here the two sets of locants have been turned out same. Both are same. At that time double bonds are given priority. That means double bonds are to be assigned lowest numbers as possible. So this is the wrong way of numbering and this is the correct way of numbering, isn't it? Next, root word, 6 carbon atoms are there, so it is hex, primary suffix en, yn, secondary suffix e. There aren't any substituents attached to the carbon atoms in the chain, so secondary prefixes are not there. Okay, so here two double bonds are there. For that reason it is hexa 1, 3 diene 5 ine. Hexa 1, 3 diene 5 ine. Here I dropped E from ene because it is followed by the suffix beginning with Y. Next, 10th problem. Okay, solution. Number the carbon chain. From both ends I am numbering the carbon chain. Use the lowest set of locants rule. See here. Set 1 locants are 1, 4, 6. Next, set 2 locants are 1, 3, 6. Okay, so let us compare these two sets of locants term by term, and in both sets the first terms are same. Then go to the next terms. Let us go to the next terms and compare them. At the first point of difference 3 is less than 4. So this is the correct way of numbering. That is, numbering from right to left is the correct way of numbering. You can observe here from left to right, triple bond is contained first carbon atom, and from right to left double bond is contained first carbon atom. That means here triple bond and here double bond both are competing for the same position. At that time double bonds are given the priority over the triple bonds. Okay, so root word 7 carbon atoms are there. It is hept. Okay, and en, yn, e. There are two substituents. This one is propyl group attached to the 5th carbon atom, and bromine is attached to the 2nd carbon atom. Okay, so these are the substituents. You have to write the substituents according to alphabetical order. So bromine comes first. 2 bromo, 5 propyl hepta. A should be added to root word. Why? Because two triple bonds are there here, isn't it? You can see the IUPAC name. 2 bromo, 5 propyl hepta, 1 in 3, 6 diene. Here E is not dropped from E and E. Why? Because it is followed by the suffix beginning with D. Okay, thank you.